Inspirational Learning, a place where you can come to and learn how to in business, formats, science, math, financial, tech, and more. Let Inspirational Learning teach you.
Welcome back to Inspirational Learning. Today we'll be solving equations by multiplying and dividing, similar to how we were solving for the variables for adding and subtracting, except we'll be focusing more on the dividing and multiplying to solve these equations. So let's look at an equation here. We have 2x equals 4, and just like before, we have to get this variable completely by itself in order to know the value of that variable. Therefore, we have to do the opposite function of what we see here. So the 2 being attached to the variable is another way of saying 2 times x. Therefore, if we have 2 times x, then we have to do 2 divided by on both sides of the equation. So we just divide by the 2 on both sides of the equation. 2 divided by 2 is just a 1, right? And then we bring down our variable, and we bring down our equal sign, and then 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So I know you're probably wondering, well, why don't we stick a 1 in front of the variable? Well, we have to understand that 1 multiplied by anything is whatever it multiplies by. So therefore, for example, 1 times 5 will be 5. 1 times 10 will be 10. 1 times any letter, whether it's an X, a B, or a C, any variable will be that variable. So there's no need for us to put a 1 in front of the variable. So let's do a little more complex question. We have 5x plus 4 equals 14. Now here we have combined, putting a addition sign with the actual variable and the functions that we have in the previous problem. So we have a 4, which we have to do the opposite transaction in order to complete this. We subtract 4 on both sides. That is so we can get our variable in this number that's attached to our variable completely by itself. So we know that 4 minus 4 is 0. We have 14 minus 4, which is 10. And now we could just simply bring down our 5x. And we bring down our equal sign. And also our 10. So now we're left with 5x is equal to 10. Well, we still have to get the variable by itself, right? So let's go ahead and do the opposite function from what we see. We know that anytime we have the number attached to the variable, all that means is that it's multiplying. So the opposite thing to do will be to divide. Right? Just divide on both sides. Therefore, we already know that 5 divided by 5 is just 1. So we could just simply bring down our x. And then 10 divided by 5 will be 2. Therefore, our solution to the equation is 2 because we solved for our variable. Now, let's do a little bit something different. What if we have a fraction in this problem? Well, that's a little bit different, right? If we have 1/2 a variable is equal to 4. All right, so for this particular equation, we know that 1/2 times x equals 4. But 1/2 can also be considered a division problem, right? Because the 2 is under the 1. So what do you do when you have a fraction attached to a variable? Well, what you're supposed to do is you multiply by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal function is just this number flipped. So we have 2 over 1 is as our reciprocal. Well, if we're going to multiply by the reciprocal on this side of the equation, then we need to multiply by the reciprocal on the other side of the equation. So 2 over 1 times 1/2, that'll simply equal 2 over 2. And 2 over 2 is also known as the number 1. 2 over 2 equals the number 1. Therefore, we know that we don't place the 1 in front of the variable, because 1 times anything is going to be whatever that number or variable is. So we know that 1 times x is simply just x. Therefore, we have the equation x. We bring down our equal sign, and then we have 4 times 2 over 1. Well, we know when we multiply a number times a fraction with the number 1 at the bottom, we have 4 times 2 divided by 1. When you multiply or divide by the number 1, it's going to equal whatever that number is. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 over 1 is left. Well, 8 divided by 1 is simply just going to be the number 8. So x is equal to 8, and that's our solution for the problem. Thank you for joining us this week. Hopefully the problems weren't too complicated. If they were, feel free to comment, or if you have an equation that's a little more complicated, it needs a little bit more attention, just comment down about your equation in the comment section, and then I'll be able to address your concerns. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you for learning with us at Inspirational Learning. If you enjoyed this lesson and found it helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe to our channel.